Vault12 is the first solution to offer a simple, direct, and secure way to ensure that your digital assets are stored securely, but also able to be accessed by your loved ones. So with me is Chief Crypto Officer of Vault12, Wasim Ahmad, to explain a little bit more about this, Wasim. So I don't think a lot of people really think about passing on those assets to other people and how to make it easily accessible so they're not lost forever. So welcome to explain this for me. And just tell me, I guess let's start with just an overall quick view of Vault12 and what it is you do. And then let's dig down into some nitty gritty about making sure those assets are stored properly.
Great, thank you, Jane. It's good to see you again. So Vault12, which we launched earlier in the year, is a solution for backing up your crypto wallets, backing up your digital assets. So it's a place where you can make sure that, you're not just writing down your seed phrases and your credentials on a piece of paper, but you're actually backing it up digitally in a way that hackers or anyone else can't get access to them. And that, you can rest assured that your assets are protected and the credentials are protected. And now what we've done recently is introduce digital inheritance, which is the idea that those same assets need to be at some point passed on to family in the future, whether you have passed away, whether you're incapacitated or any of those kinds of circumstances. And so the way the Vault12 works is that you back up your seed phrase or your crypto wallet right into a digital vault. You assign a set of people who I'm going to call guardians, which could be friends and family, it could be business associates, and they actually get an encrypted piece of those credentials. And everything is distributed. It doesn't exist in one place, so hackers can't get at it.
Okay, and this is really important. There's a significant amount of assets in crypto. We've seen what Bitcoin has done. So this is a really key thing that people need to be concerned about. Now, if I'm using the Vault12 app already and have a paid subscription, can I activate the digital inheritance and designate a beneficiary?
Yes, absolutely. So we made it very, very simple for existing customers and new customers. All you need is a paid subscription plan, which starts at something like $20 a month. Which is about twice the cost of a safety deposit box. So very, very normal kind of procedure. And all you do is designate a beneficiary. So designate a person who will get access. So this is not a will. This is simply a mechanism to transfer directly access to those assets at some time in the future.
Now, is a will still required?
Yes, absolutely. So whether it's a will or a living trust or some other kind of legal framework, you really, really do need to talk to a trust and estate lawyer and work out what makes sense, not only for your physical assets, but also for your digital assets.
Okay. And then, so there's some parts of this that are very similar to what we're used to in terms of financial planning. It's just making sure that people are able to access. What about, can the beneficiary be an executor or a trustee?
Yeah, absolutely. So in different types of legal framework, the person could be, it could be, a member of your family. It could be the executor. In the case of a living trust, it could be the trustee. So there's many different terms for this. So I'm going to use the word beneficiary to kind of describe all of those.
Okay. And then can there be more than one beneficiary?
Right now, it's just limited to one person, so it's very specific. And then everything else about where do the assets go to once people have them available to kind of distribute, that would get covered in the will or whatever legal document.
Okay. Now, what if, and this happens sometimes, that family members don't like them or there's a falling out among family members? How do you work around that?
So a lot of those situations happen in kind of real life in the physical world as much as they might happen in the future with digital assets. And so it all revolves around planning, making sure that you have enough guardians of different types so that you can get a little quorum together to confirm the transfer. So maybe you have 5 family members and 5 friends and 5 business associates. And that way, if the family members and are not necessarily cooperating with your intentions, you've got your friend network to fall back on, you've got your professional network to fall back on. And so this is why it's very important to consult a lawyer, go through the scenarios and come up with the right strategic plan that makes sense for you.
Right. Yeah, you really have to kind of think about all the different possibilities. And one of those is if a beneficiary dies before the owner of the assets die, what happens then?
Yeah, unfortunately, these things can happen, and if the beneficiary dies, you can obviously, if you're still around, you can designate a new one. If you have access to your phone, if you're surviving, beneficiaries have access to your phone, they can request a recovery. So there's many different ways, and again, this comes down to doing the right type of planning up front. So as long as your executor has a list of all your guardians and their contact details, then there is a way to kind of recover and access, even if your beneficiary passes away.
Now, does the beneficiary also have to be a member of Vault 12?
Not right now, no. So anyone can be a beneficiary. They do have to download the app and kind of set it up and agree to the designation and those kinds of things. But we hope that this is a long-term relation. Hopefully, it's a long-term relationship, that people won't need this anytime soon. But yeah, we hope that people will continue to subscribe and actually use it for themselves, in addition to being the beneficiary.
So do you have any personal stories that people may be able to learn from about situations where this kind of thing has come up?
Maybe not personal stories, but just stories that are out there that sort of have been documented in the last few years. The one that comes to mind is a very sad story. Matthew Mellon, heir to the Mellon banking family, he went to great lengths to, once he started investing in crypto, went to great lengths to secure that crypto. He put it in cold storage under different names all around the country. So very distributed, definitely the right kind of approach for his fortune, which, was something like $2 billion worth of XRP. Unfortunately, he died suddenly and didn't leave any instructions. So there were no instructions. No one knows where this cold storage is. No one knows under what name or account number it exists. And so that fortune is locked out, and no one can get access to it.
Oh my goodness, it's just sitting there and nobody's benefiting from it. That is a terrible situation.
It really is. And I think one thing to kind of bring up for your audience is that people have been buying cryptocurrency for quite a while, and there was a little lull last year. But this year, with Bitcoin, I think it's 17,000. Wow. Ethereum, et cetera, is up. But also over the summer, we saw huge amounts of interest in DeFi and DeFi tokens. So it's very important to make sure that each of those tokens that you buy and the wallets that you put them in are backed up. And if you don't have that inventory or that digital legacy recorded somewhere, then it's going to disappear. It's going to go the same way as Matthew Mellon.
Now, what about state to state? Because laws vary. So how do you get around all of that?
Yeah, so we thought long and hard and worked with a lot of lawyers on this. So yeah, as you point out, states have slightly differing interpretations of what a will is. Countries have different interpretations. And so we tried to stay above that scenario and simply create a mechanism that was about transferring access, creating a declaration that embodied the intentions of the vault owner, and making sure that declaration can be passed on to lawyers as needed. And so everything else is governed by whatever legal framework you choose to govern your estate.
So what would you say, Wasim, to somebody who maybe bought crypto, they were kind of intrigued by the whole concept a few years ago, all of a sudden it's grown to an amount that they never dreamed, maybe maybe they're young, have never navigated some of this before. What are the first 2 or 3 steps they should take?
Well, I think the first step is to make sure that your wallets are backed up. So, 9 out of 10 wallets will tell you, here's your credential, here's your recovery phrase, back it up onto a piece of paper. That's a horrible idea. Yet that is the predominant way that things are backed up. It's a horrible idea because you can lose it. You might not be able to read it. You know, it could fall prey to some natural disaster, which you've seen in California, you know, flooding, fires, you know, all of those kinds of things. So it's not the safest thing. In the pandemic, we saw that safety deposit boxes or banks were closed, you know, at unpredictable moments. So you couldn't get access to the, you know, the paper backup that you might have put in the safety deposit box. So backing it up is number one. And then number two is go see a lawyer, go see a trust and estate lawyer and work out what is the best approach for you. And then obviously we think using a digital backup in Vault12 is a great way to go. And then designating the beneficiary means that you are covered for the future.
Okay. So Wasim, can somebody go to your website and kind of just take a look around and get some questions answered and then maybe reach out if they have more questions beyond that?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a lot of information on the website. There's some videos that kind of literally walk you through the steps, screen by screen. And then you can download the app. It has 30-day free, so you can literally play around with it to see how you know, how it feels. And by signing up for a subscription, you can then designate your beneficiary, and you are off.
Okay. Very interesting. And as this space matures, these are things that people are going to have to concern themselves with. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Wasim, for coming and explaining. It's very important.
Thank you, Jane.
Thank you.